Whoa, whoa, salute people, salute, salute, salute. Man, how everybody doing today, man? How everybody doing, man? I just wanted I see the big news on YouTube going around right now is Blue Boys, man. The famous New York Loke, famous New York Crip, back incarcerated, man. And that's like, man, only home about a year. I mean, this shit is crazy, man. But I'm gonna talk about it a little something, man. So what's up, man? Yak Chicago's finest, baby. Let's go. Mike, what up, my bro, man? Check me out, man. Appreciate it. Man, what up, man? Yak Chicago's finest, man. Michael, man, appreciate you tapping in, my brother, man. Thank you, man. So, man, the hot topic right now on in our sector, man, is Blue Boy's back, incarcerated allegedly, man, and that's like, man, that's crazy, man. And it seemed like the brother was trying to, he was trying to keep his head straight as possible. You know what I mean? From what I could tell. But man, for my people that's not on this East Coast, man, Blue Boy's I believe Blue Boy's Puerto Rican. He's a Puerto Rican guy, man. And he rep Crip. He's a famous East Coast Crip, man, well known, man, known for various things in the penal system out on this end, man. But he did 39 years, and man, now he was home maybe a year, man, and that brother back locked up in there, man. So it's like that's kind of, man, Puerto Rican. Okay, man, got you, appreciate it, man. How you doing today, too, bro? Man, so the brother, man, it seemed as though he was trying to fly under the radar best he could, but it's like, you know what I mean, so many people he's recognized on his East Coast, especially up in New York. From what it seemed to be said, he's supposed to be working at a smoke shop or something, doing security for Big Baby, man, Glenn Davis. So man, that's a good thing. The brother gave him a shot, man, to try to keep him off the street. But you know what I mean? It seems as though somebody came in and must have upped the strap on him, and he took it and used it against him. And it's like, man, that's a messed up situation for a brother that's on all type of paper, for a brother that got a jacket like he do. Cause you know what I mean, ain't no stand your ground. You know what I mean? They gonna throw that shit right out the window because they looking at him as a menace. They looking at him as a repeat offender. They looking at him as somebody, man. They trying to, man, get off the streets anyway, man. L Blue, man, what's up, sis? What up? The kid was going to rob the smoke shop, and he took the gun away from the person. That's what they saying. I'm not too sure, but I'm definitely looking into it, man. If you hear anything, man, tap me in, man. Cause I'm definitely interested in this, man. That's why I'm touching on it. But that's what I heard, and it's like, man, it's kind of. That's a tough situation to put anybody into, let alone somebody that got a lengthy, you know what I mean, criminal history the way he do. But it hasn't been confirmed that the person shot had the gun originally. Okay. Queen Andy, man, salute, sis, man, appreciate you. You said that voice though, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. But man, it's like, man, that's a tough situation for anybody to be in, whether you just a security guard that's, you know what I mean, that's your regular gig, but for somebody of his stature, for somebody of his, you know what I mean, his jacket, his popularity, all that. It's like, man, you know, I mean, I got a couple of my homies just talking about right now, you know, already, broski, already. And it's like, man, so that put him in a tough situation, you know what I mean? Like, what, by law, of course, if he on paper, you know, he out of order. They don't want to hear nothing. But what the perspective I'm looking at it from, what is you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just sit there and let somebody gun you down? Or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, that puts you in a bad position, especially when, you know what I mean, that your history. And it's like, man, we gotta learn to figure out how not to put ourselves in certain positions, even if we wasn't looking for that type of situation. You gotta look at it in hindsight. That's probably not working doing security at a smoke shop, probably not the first on the list job you will be wanting to do because of the traffic that's gonna come through there, the type of traffic that's gonna come through there. You gotta, look at all of that. If the fool is out there to do security work, his background doing security, you're bound to run into things that might land 100% fact. And doing security work in a smoke shop, you know what I mean? In a smoke shop, you do got some clean cut, you know what I mean? People that come and go that's prescribed, you know what I mean? The marijuana, but you got some people with a little edge to them that's gonna be coming up in that. It's because the media and social media also messing them up. That's the way they incriminate. And this guy, they just need to stay on social media and let the case. Exactly, man. It's like, man, I'm here to talk about the different plights in it, because it's like, man, that was a tough. Glenn Davis, man, I guess he was trying to help the brother, giving him a job there, been giving him a security job there, but I think it was more on a selfish note. Glenn Davis was doing it more on a who Blue Boy was. Ain't nobody gonna come in there and fuck with his shit. And you know what I mean? He gonna get a little street credibility by having the brother there, and the type. I think it was more on that chip than just being sincere and really trying to extend a hand to help the brother. But he put him in a bad situation, because you got to remember, man, that brother he been locked down. He been locked down 39 years. Your mentality is militant. You understand what I'm saying? You have your mentality is militant. He been home a year. You know what I mean? He ain't wind himself down completely off. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? We got to look at all of that. So you have to prepare yourself and not put yourself in certain situations as well. You know what I mean? But that's a good way to play it as well, because security is not really a good job right now. You're putting your hands on people, and exactly. He got over. It's like, man, you gotta think ahead of the game. You gotta think what the possibilities could happen if you doing this type of job. What could happen if you went back hustling? What could happen if you go get a store clerk back? You know what I mean? You gotta weigh your options, man, as men. And too many of us just come in and we go with the flow, man. And it's like, I ain't here to pass judgment on either way about, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of people affiliated. A lot of people got attachments to different organizations and all that. It ain't even about that to me. I hate to see anybody caught up in the system, man. Because it's like, you know, they play as real bogus in that. They carry as real bogus. And if you from this part of the community, man, you know how they carry us, man. So it's like, man, I look at it from that perspective, not him per se, but just man, the black and brown, man, they carry us in a different type of fashion anyway. So man, I don't like to see nobody in there. Even if I got an issue with somebody, I'd rather see them in the streets and we deal with it that type of way than to see somebody incarcerated dealing with the penal system, man. Because it's like, man, they crooks, you know what I mean? They trying to lock all of us up, looking at us as criminals, but they doing criminalistic activity on a daily basis. They using all these prisoners, these repeat offenders as a money machine. You know what I mean? We got, man, all of that is intact right now. Man, Eve, what up, sis? What up? Appreciate you tapping in with me, man. Just good. Definitely appreciate it, man. So they use all of us like guppies. And it's like the brother he was trying to keep his nose clean, so you gotta salute the brother for that. But man, you gotta put yourself ahead of the game and think. You got to think of all the scenarios that could possibly happen if you're trying to stay home. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to stay home, you gotta think before it happened, what all of that. But man, PTSD, man, we gotta understand this shit is real. You know what I mean? The winding yourself down off of that many amount of years, that shit is real, and we need to. Us people that have family members that's locked up and incarcerated, man, we need to put pressure on these Congress people and shit, man. They need wind down time before they get released to the streets. You know what I mean? Halfway houses don't always do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, when you have somebody got that much time under their jacket, that much time with the situations he was involved in while he was locked up, man, it's almost like being in a service. You need wind down time. You can't just, man, you setting the person up for failure if you just release them right back to the masses. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. And I ain't saying I'm right or wrong, but that's just how I look at things. So, you know what I mean? Like, man, I'm guessing there was camera footage of the situation, because 9 times out of 10, the story had cameras. That's a fact, sis. That's definitely a fact. That's why I was telling one of my peoples, Blue, they gotta have some cameras at least back this guy up. But it's like, man, if I'm not mistaken, do New York have a stand your ground? I don't believe New York have a stand your ground, right? So it's like, man, New York don't have a stand your ground. He already on paperwork. He on paper, so he can't be attached to a firearm anyway, even if he wind up taking it from somebody that had it who can have a firearm. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, man, we got to not put ourselves in certain positions, man. And you know what I mean? I see a lot of people on here coming at it from different angles, man. You know, because some people love him, some people hate him, some people misunderstood about him. Some people don't fuck with him because of Larry Davis, XYZ, a whole bunch of. He got a lot that come with him, which lets you know he probably shouldn't have had a front street type of job like that in the first place. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, a lot of people have, man, a lot of opinions about the brother. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, you gotta think ahead of the game, man. If you're trying to stay home. If you trying to stay up out of that, because man, you already know they didn't want to release that dude anyway. Why you should have did was when he took that firearm, gave it to the owner, and called the police. That had been the proper way to handle it. But it is what it is. Exactly. That's the. I'm guessing they saw the camera footage and have already determined it wasn't self-defense. That's why one was issued for his arrest. And it's like, man, even if they had the camera footage, think about. I'm gonna use me as an example. It's hard for me to call the police, and I ain't did a whole bunch of time, but my history of my walk in life determines that's gonna be the last. I can't even say the last resort. That's probably beyond my last resort that I'm gonna do is call 911. And for a brother that did that amount of years, you know, his mental is even stiffer than mine. You know what I'm saying? But you already know, bro. Like any jobs that be thrown at you, right? You're gonna take it exactly. So you know what I mean? It's like he was trying to keep it straightforward as possible, but it's like, man, it's rough, man. And it's like you gotta life, man. Life is a journey, man. And it's like you make you make decisions in the beginning of your life, man, it's gonna dictate this shit now. Cause I know I don't give a fuck what his track record is. I don't give a fuck how many stabbings he had, how much of a stepper he was, how much of a big crip he was. That nigga wasn't ready to go back to no fucking jail. I don't. You get out here and get that fresh air, man. You get out here, you can lay up with your old lady. You can see your kids. You know what I mean? Your family, the remainder family you do have after 39 years. You know what I'm saying? You're not ready to go back in there. Now you gotta wind yourself back into that mentality, man. That shit's not cool, man. I don't wish that one on nobody. You know what I mean? Because I know how it is when they get you up in there. You know what I mean? It's like your jacket, your jacket, man. You carry that with you, man. Even when you don't have intentions of being that person today, you know what I'm saying? That shit follows you, man. That's why I try to tell all my youngins, man, like, man, avoid as much of these getting in the systems as you can. Cause man, that shit don't, how many of us really actually take the time and do the proper steps to go get shit expunged? We always say we're gonna do it, we should do it, but a lot of us just sit there, don't go get the proper time to get shit expunged off our records. We don't do it, and we wind up, bam, in a trick bag. You know what I mean? And look up that shit there, and it's man. So it's man, shit is crazy. But when you're in a public place, in a public store with a public camera, you have to be that public guy to call the police. That's the proper way. But you can let your ego and your hood take over. You say that again, my brother. Sure was. Man, it's like, now look at now what happened. I know he's sick as hell right now, but it's like, man, do you know the stories that would have been on here? Blue Boy called the police. Blue Boy called 911. You know how many people would have ran with that one? So it's like, man, you gotta be able to separate yourself from this so-called image that people have of you. You gotta be able to separate yourself from this stepper that you had to become. You gotta be able to separate yourself from the big crip that everybody idolized you about. You got to be able to step back and put yourself in your rarest form and be the man that you want to be today, or man, they gonna hang your ass out to dry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, they gonna hang you out to dry. And it's like, some people, man, I've seen a couple of people on here, they kind of excited to hear the brother. Man, I ain't happy to hear nobody get no, you know what I mean? If you not, my stance on the penal system is like this. If you're not violating women and kids, I don't think nobody should deserve what comes with being up in the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? If you fucking with our kids or violating our women, man, you get what you get. But as far as everything else across the board, I don't want to see nobody up in there. That's my perspective. That's my belief. You know what I mean? That's just me. He had to be willing to call the police if need be. If not, even when I'm taking a job as a security job, that's a good point. At some point, security would be required to call the police. That's a fact, man. And I've been put in that man, that exact situation. It's like, man, because I used to bounce. I used to bounce at bars down here in Baltimore, Fells Point. It's a whole strip of just different bars and shit. And I used to do security. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I wind up having to stand there talking to them peoples many a nights, because I might, man, you're gonna eventually have to move some furniture or break a nigga shit up. You know what I'm saying? That comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? Lipinski, man, what up? But why would it happen in Blue Boy when he got shot? What would they have said? Exactly, man. It would have been, man. Right now, the conversation would be, man, it would be the hottest. It'd be the hottest topic streaming right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, what do you do? Once you took the security job, his whole bad boy persona went out the window. That's true too. A lot of people definitely look at it in that manner. You know what I mean? But it's like, but he wasn't looking at it like that. You got to think it's a smoke shop. It's big baby Glenn Davis. So Glenn Davis on some, you know what I'm saying? He on some real nigga time. So he ain't had to be in there on no tight neck straightforward. He could be himself. So you know what I mean? It was a little bit of everything, man. Ego, ego, mixed with that gumboard PTSD that you dealing with after doing that amount of years, make you wind up right back where he got to step back into the right now. You know what I'm saying? So man, you gotta let that go. You gotta let the image go. You gotta let the persona go. All of that if you're trying to survive, man. If you're trying to make it out here, cause just like man, and the suck ass part about it, when you do that amount of time, the adjustment period, cause man, your way of thinking, how you would do something back when you got locked up in 80 whatever. It's 2023. The same motto don't work no more. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way of going about things, man. It's not the same. You setting yourself up for failure. But he probably, from what I could see, he didn't have nobody that could pull his coattail. Man, put some game in his ear. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's like, man, he got the young boys, the little rappers up New York, everybody, I'm saluting them and shit. You know what I'm saying? They giving him 10 racks because he's blue boy and he big tripping. And man, if you wasn't going to detach at that age and all the battle scars and the wars that brother went through, he should have immediately, especially on the Vlad TV interview, denounced his affiliation with these organizations, man. Because you still claiming what you stand on, and you the big cuz, man. You gotta stand on a certain square, man. It's just what it is, you know. Honestly speaking, I think Blue had the gun. His manhood was challenged some type of way. He took it there. I did not believe it was an attempted robbery. That could definitely be, man. That's actually a good point. It's actually, and we will see. You know what I mean? We will see. So they try to put it out there like man. That's a very valid point. Cause man, you can man. Ego sent a lot of us, man, straight to prison. You know, so it's like and man, I could actually, man, by you saying that, I could easily see that happening. You know what I'm saying? I could easily see that happening. Him being the dude that he's portray himself to be, the dude that he still think he is. And if somebody tried to check his nuts, you know what I mean? That could easily send him over the top. And they say he was on the run for a minute. So you know what I mean? That's a very good possibility. That's a very good one. But it's like, man, I'm like that's crash out mode, man. It's like man. How long do you think you got left? You know what I mean? Shit, nigga got to be 50 what? You know what I'm saying? He got to be kicking, man. He got to be mid 50s, and nigga, you ain't finna come home again. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You probably finna die in prison. Like man, was that worth it, or was that worth you chucking your nuts and man? You know what I mean? Submitting. You got me. You got that, brother. And let them do what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? As long as it's something, you know what I mean? As long as there's some materialistic shit, man, take it. As long as you ain't putting that thing on me, man. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them, man. And it's like we don't always know, as men, we don't always know how to man separate ourselves from our persona. Don't know how to, man, let somebody feel like they had the upper hand on you, or it even seem like you took an L because of what the people might think of you, man. We got to learn how to, man, step outside of ourselves, man, and deal with this shit as grown men and in reality, man, because that shit ain't fun up in there, you know? A robbery of a weed spot is very rarely done by one person, especially here in NYC, and that is definitely true. You could be active gangbanger, but when you work in your job, two different things. It don't matter how people would have looked at him. That's his job. Everybody did the same fucking shit, man. That's true. That is definitely true. But it's like, man, excuse me. He's high profile. You know what I mean? He's high profile. So that's hard to disconnect It's hard to disconnect yourself from that, man. Man, I know. I know for a fact, and man, I've had to personally force myself out of certain situations because of the same type of man. Everybody look at Yak, Yak, that he this type of dude, Yak, that type of dude. So man, it be hard, man, especially when you in that element. It be hard to man detach yourself from that shit sometime, man. You know what I mean? It's like it be hard to detach yourself from it, and it'd be hard to think, man, this nigga violating me. You know what I mean? So but you have to. What's really important? What's really important, man? As a man, as a father, as a man, what's really important? Like me, I'm an active gang man when I'm in a wheelchair, but sometimes it's time to do this or it's time to do that. A lot of homies, when you're in there, man, I understand it, man. I'm not an active gang member as of today. I'm a former first generation gangster disciple man that still salute the organization, but I totally understand. Cause it's like, man, when we attach ourselves to these different groups, we don't always, man, especially with his track record, his history, and his walk of life, we don't. It's hard to denounce shit sometimes. You know what I mean? I know this personally, because man, I know people that struggle with it. You know what I mean? I know people that struggle with denouncing their affiliation, man. But it's like you gotta know when to show what's really important. You gotta know, man, you did your time. Man, you stood firm. You did your time, and you made it home. You gotta be able to exhale. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about every walk of life that you gonna put yourself into for the remainder. You know what I mean? Because man, how many you got left? And he up there already. You know what I'm saying? He up there for real. Reason why I'm like this is because I let my ego and my pride get the better, man. And I already understand it, Michael. I definitely understand it. Some of these people are real street people. So they are coming up with all these scenarios. But if you know, you know. And a lot of what's being said just can't be said. You right on that, Blue. I can feel you. That's real. Man, that's serious. Cause it's like, man, most people, everybody want to, man, you know, make it sound exciting and shit, man. But certain stuff is just reality. Certain stuff, it's only so many ways certain situations could go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, and it's like we got a man. I hate, man. I hate to see anybody after giving that slave pen, because that's all the fuck it is, man. Give them that much amount of your life to go back. You know what I mean? I hate to see that for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to, man, I can detach myself from the so-called image that the brother got. You know what I mean? And just, man, can't tell me that nigga ain't sit up in there when they close them boys up. You got that feeling in your gut, man, because it's like that's a failure, man. You failed yourself. And if you got any family, you know, close friends that's man was rooting for you and supporting you and backing you up, man, you let a lot of people on top of letting yourself completely down. It's like, damn, if I don't, man, I can't say that though, Mike. Cause it's like, man, if you for the most times, these young boys, if you just once they know who you is to a degree, you got to know when your time is past also. So you don't let them shit on you or carry you, but you also got to know when to get these shorties, man, it's your run right now, but and they respect you. It's all about how you carry yourself, how you carry the situation. And, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's gonna go over the top, or it's gonna get out off. You know what I mean? Go left. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be willing to. You gotta be willing to let it go. Too many of us, man, too many of us try to hold on. Man, G-Dub Quinn, what up, bro, man? What it do, what it do? I can't even imagine the way he's feeling right now. Like he's feeling like he's fucked. Man, you gotta be. What's the likelihood of him ever coming home again? You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, or unless something on the tape that, you know what I'm saying, that man, it just goes so much in his favor. But then the likelihood of that is like shit. New York State don't want that nigga on the street anyway. You know what I'm saying? So he just gave him a full course meal on a platter for real, for real. You think they wanted to let that brother out of there? Hell no. My oldest brother's best friend did 33 years. He's been home since 2015 and doing good now. Thank God. Yes, man. Salute to the brother, man. My oldest brother came. He did 15. Well, my second oldest brother, Anthony. He did 15. And he's been home now. He's been home now. It's going on 8 years. But it was like he had to. And my brother was well respected in the streets. My brother was well respected in the Illinois penal system. He was well respected in the organizations. But when he came back to Chicago, the energy these young cats got now, and the mentality of who he is as a man, he had to leave Chicago. He called me up one day. He was like, man, bro. The way everybody talk to you now, you know what I mean? It's like don't nobody talk to you, they talk at you. He's like, man, I hate somebody talking at me like that. And then the young cats coming at him aggressively. Then man, he hit me up one night. And he was sitting outside ready to do some, you know what I mean? A couple shorties like spoke in a unpleasant type of tone to my brother. You know what I mean? He was ready to crash all the way out. And he called me. And I'm like, man, big bro, man, chill out, man. You gotta learn how to, man, you gotta have tougher skin, man. Everything don't mean go head first. You know what I mean? I'm trying to talk him down because I know my brother. You know what I mean? I know my brother. I know he's sitting there, he ready to crash out. I said, man, you got your daughter about to have a baby. You about to see your grandbaby. You already missed your daughter time and blah. Man, I had to really, and I'm the little brother. But you know what I mean, man? We need somebody that have enough strength and courage within themselves to tell you to slow the fuck down. You know what I mean? For real. These young boys nowadays, bro, they don't care that's the name of rank. They coming up, they trying to build up a name themselves. And he's on young. They could do it easy. They could do it easy 10 to 15 years. They come on rally, boy, man, 40s, 30s. You hit it on the head, and it's like, man. But that's a sad and a sick way of thinking, but it's the fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really tell my brother, man. I'm like, I said, man, sometimes, man, you can't just jump off the cliff every time. Especially now, I'm like, man, you know how to heat him. I'm like, man, I had to push it in perspective for him and dumb it down. You know, if you went back right now, how the hell that would make my mama feel? Nigga, that'd kill her. You know what I mean? That would kill her on top of, man, she would be crushed. You know how your damn daughters would, if you go back, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, if you don't have no full-blown intentions of committing yourself all the way to, man, making sure you walk a certain path, man, you shouldn't even affiliate yourself with certain people when you come home, man, because people start relying on your success. People start depending on you not failing and all the above. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, 10 to 15 years, stop and hit the light. Man, I appreciate it, man. Definitely always love. You already know what it is. Funny, my oldest brother name was Anthony. Also, he was in and out for years until he finally decided to change for the better. He came home 2001 and never went back. Sadly, he passed away in 2020 of a heart attack. Man, I'm sorry to hear that shit, but man, good thing he got to just breathe, though. You know what I mean? My brother had to leave Chicago. He moved up to Iowa. He moved to Iowa, and when I say, and I was in the Midwest as well, but I was like just rural area. It's a mixed community, more whites than blacks and Spanish, but it's blacks and Spanish. It's a mixed community, but he needed to change his entire everything. And man, I knock on wood and thank God all the time that he made it. You know what I'm saying? My brother made it, because it's like, man, but if he'd have stayed in Chicago, he'd have crashed out. But you know what I mean? But sometimes you have to remove yourself from your comfortability. You have to remove yourself from what you feel as though you don't have to look over your shoulders. Sometimes, man, sometimes you got to make yourself uncomfortable to actually be comfortable and survive. You understand me? And we don't be thinking like that all the time. You know what I mean? We do not think. We always want to go back to where everybody salute us. Go back to where everybody ready to throw us a couple dollars. Go back where everybody, man, you can come out here on the block and make some money, man. When the rooter to the tutor, that bullshit don't matter for real. Because I know he wish he'd have did a different route today. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for real. Sorry for hearing that, Blue. My condolences going out to you, man. Definitely. Man, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes you have to remove yourself from what you would consider the easy way of coming home. You know what I mean? Because he never thought nobody was finna fucking come run up on him up. You know, I know he couldn't have. From all the videos and shit I've seen of him, he didn't have no fear of nobody running up on him like that. You know what I mean? Not to the point where he was paranoid and, you know what I mean, sitting there looking at him. I don't think so. He looked too, and he was too comfortable talking about certain shit to even feel like he was worried about something. So, man, and that's ego. That's man. That's your shit. After doing that amount of years, you missing some of them wires, some of them, man. Everything ain't clicking to the top like it used to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta be able to save yourself. You gotta be able to remove yourself from the bullshit sometimes. You gotta be able to remove yourself from the person that you have to become at times to make sure you survive. You know what I mean? And when and the history of who this gentleman is, man, he probably should have, you know what I mean, expressed all of his past stories, all of his where he stand today in a little more humbler fashion, so he could move around with a little more, you know what I'm saying, loose shoulders. Cause you know what I mean? You got, man, the way he come off. He might have to be tight ass sometimes, because, man, you can say some stuff that sounds challenging to people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people have a lot of different feelings about that brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, us as men, we gotta learn how to understand and self-check ourselves and realize, man, you might have to submit today. You still a man though, man. But that get your ass to tomorrow, free, home with your family, man. Not going back up in that fucking hellhole. You know what I mean? So, man, we had to learn how to, man, self-check ourselves, man, for real. My brother was my everything. Yes, he was in the streets, but he was always a true big brother. Exactly. To his siblings, my brother had streets and book smarts. He taught me so much about life. That, man, I respect that, man. Salute to your bro. That was me. I always, and man, my brother Anthony, that's my big brother, but he always called me his little big brother, because I was always had the wherewithal to observe the whole situation. And, man, I always, before I do something or did anything, I always thought about the pros and the cons, how I'm gonna get in there and how the hell I'm gonna get out of there. What could happen if I do this, or what could happen if I do that? I always had enough patience and enough woosah to, man, put myself in, weigh my pros and my cons out of it. You know what I mean? I always was able to talk to my big brother like that. And he finally, I got to a point in his life where he was like, man, he would listen. And I could level him down a little bit. But, man, it took him to go to Iowa and a whole different scenery, a whole different you know what I mean, lifestyle, a whole different type of energy, a whole different type of people and everything for him to make sure he never went back. And you know what I mean? Too many of us, man, scared to be uncomfortable. Sometimes being uncomfortable is what's gonna actually make you have a comfortable life. But we don't look at it like that. We look at it in a whole different light. You know what I'm saying? But man, my brother, because he's like, man, I ain't fucking with them white people up there, man, because his time in the penitentiary was, man, them white COs used to, up in the Midwest and up in the, man, you go to Iowa and all that, up Southern Illinois, them white COs is very racist. Man, they actually tried to kill my brother. My brother still got a lawsuit against Illinois corrections right now. So my brother had a real bitter taste in his mouth about different races. You understand what I'm saying? I just had to, man, bro, you gotta shake some shit up and don't let some shit dictate your path. You don't let nobody walk over you, but you don't let no motherfucker make you not go this route because you might not have a feeling about how they might carry on. You know what I mean? I had to school my big brother. But man, luckily he self-checked himself and he listened. You know what I mean? And he got out of his comfort zone, man. And he's doing great, ain't been back. Man, and it's like, you know, man, we be needing somebody, man, that got enough heart, got enough confidence, and got enough love for you to check the shit out yourself. So, man, so we don't crash out, man. We be needing that sometime, man. Morning to the real, but man, Miss 702, man, appreciate it, man, appreciate it. My brother also kept my son and nephews in line. He made sure they didn't make the same mistakes he made. Exactly. Good to hear that, man. And it's like definitely, man. I talked to him over the holiday, and I'm like, man, told him, man, I'm so proud because, man, he working consistent. He got him an old lady, man. He been in a steady relationship for a minute, man. He came home, got him an apartment, man. He got him a whip and everything. You know what I mean? And it was like, man, my mom had called me, and when my brother first came, he got out of shit. He went to my mom's because he had to get his feet grounded. And I had to come holler at him like, man, bro, she ain't gonna be able to tell you, but then you got X amount of time to be there, man. Give yourself a time frame so you know this is your start date. Man, you trying to have your own by this, you gotta walk it down. And he like, man, bro, what the hell you trying to say? You ain't finna take over my motherfucking mama house, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, man. I'm putting some pressure on you, but I'm making you man up at the same time, and because she not gonna be able to, she'll never tell one of us get the hell out. So you know what I mean? We don't make her uncomfortable because you know what I mean. You got to figure this shit out. You know, so but man, we be needing somebody that's not afraid to tell us, man, you messing up, man. That's some BS you doing, and it's like, man, you gotta be willing to accept it. And man, if you ain't around somebody that's willing to tell you messing up, man, you should not be around them people, man. You should, if everybody bigging you up to do some bullshit, man, that's probably somebody you shouldn't be around, man. And it's like, I know you're thinking about that today. Cause it's like, man, that's a life-changing situation. The likelihood of that brother stepping foot in the free world again is, man, it's slim to none. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Crazy part, last time my daddy was locked up, my sister was locked up. They got probation at the same. Wow, that's definitely something. You know what I mean? But that would make me, as the pops, this last time this shit gonna happen. Certain things have to happen to make us walk that straight line, make us, man, self-checking ourselves. That certain things, man, before it be too late, man. Because it's like, man, and my brother, he tell me, he said, man, he's a little brother. If I'd have stayed in Chicago, I'd either be right back in the penitentiary, or I'd be dead. Because I ain't finna allow these shorties to carry me the way they carrying dudes, and I ain't finna accept this. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, you gotta be willing, man, to step out your comfort zone, man, if you trying to survive it, man, for real. Broke my daddy hard, now his son breaking their heart. Gotta show your kids change. You have to, man. It's like, man, what did that ego get you? What did that all them cuts get you? What did all the arrogant telling the story of you sticking Larry Davis get you? You know what I mean? You should have been coming home probably a little bit more humbler, looking at things from a different perspective. But man, try to do something outside of your element to make people see that you really was for real about staying home, man. Sometimes we can save ourselves, or sometimes we can put ourselves in uncompromising positions, man. But man, hope the brother, man, make it out this the best way he could, man. I just wanted to touch on it, man, because it was like, man, I seen a lot of different perspectives on it today, man. But it's like, man, we gotta, man, if y'all got some people, man, that's locked up, man, that's on the way home or soon will be home, man. Holler at them, man. Give them a crash course on reality of what the fuck shit is in 2023, man. It's not the same out here, man. They will wash you up and you will never come out of there, man. Because it's like, man, it's so many different organizations, so many different judges, so many different attorneys that's invested in these jails, that's invested in these fucking penitentiaries. But we cash cows. They want to keep them full. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep them full. So we can't keep playing into the whole systematic BS, and then we talking about they messing with us. They study doing it, man. Sometimes we do it to ourselves, man. For real. Like, man, sometimes you gotta what you tell and show your kid, they still go the wrong way. That is a fact. It's a lot of OGs, co-founders of plenty of gangs that when they came home after serving 25, 30, 40 years, they realized this ain't what it is. Changed a lot. Man, exactly, bro. Exactly, man. I know people in all walks of life. You have to, L Blue. That's me. It's like, man, I tell everybody, man, you gotta have a different face. You gotta have different faces, man. You have to be able to maneuver around in different junctions, different functions. You gotta be able to, in different crowds. You gotta be able to, man. You should be able to, I can talk from sports to politics to gang banging to lawyer shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, I'm gonna have a real open dialogue with you on every one. And it's like, man, you have to be able to. You got to have them changing faces, man. You got to be able to, man, put yourself in different spaces and sometimes make it uncomfortable for yourself. Let actually show you that it builds you up. You know what I'm saying? It builds you up. True Blue. Sometimes you ain't the only one lose time. Your kids normalize your struggle and they get lost. That's the serious one right there. Man, so appreciate everybody tapping in, man. I just wanted to, man, speak on this one, man. This a trending topic, man, and it was definitely interesting to me, man, because it's like, man, I look at stuff differently, man, because it's like reality and real life is a MF, man, and sometimes we have to, man, we have to tell ourselves that in layman's terms and dumb ourselves down, and man, realize, man, get out the way. It's okay to get up out the way, man. It's okay to pass the torch. It's okay to, man, submit sometimes. You ain't nobody telling you to tuck your nuts and get violated, but sometimes you gotta, man, it's you. You know what I mean? And too many of us men, or so-called men, have problems, man. You know what I mean? Passing the torch and so on. You know what I mean? For real. Appreciate you, that is always great content and conversation. Man, I appreciate you, sis. You already know, man. All big love your way, man. Man, Mike, man, I appreciate you, broski. I really do, man. Miss 702, baby. Thank y'all, man. But, man, hope the brother make it out, man. Man, best he can, man. Because, man, how I look at it as far as the penal system, man, if you ain't out here violating no kids or violating our women, man, I hope all us come home. You know what I mean? All of the street shit, the street fight, that don't mean nothing to me. If we not protecting the women and kids, they can bury your ass up in there. But if everything in between, man, I root for you, man. Cheer you on, man. For real, man. So, man, I appreciate everybody tapping in, man. I really do, man. So, just, man, salute to the bro, man. I hope he make it out best way he can, man, and keep his head up. For real, man. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all giving me your time. I never take it for granted. I never take it for granted. I really don't. I appreciate y'all, man. But, man, I'm going to tap it in on the next one, man. Yeah, Chicago's finest, man, and I'm out. Thank y'all, people. Thank you. Holla back. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Mike. Be at you, man, for real.